Not the TV guide.
Not the TV guide.
Not the TV guide.
Beth, what are we doing today?
We're doing the Doctor Who special of the Not the TV Guide podcast.
Amanda, what is Not the TV Guide?
It's a podcast where we talk about the TV shows and films that we watched. And usually we enjoy them, but that's not always the case.
And we have a record set today, I suspect, because what we're going to do is I've got a bell ready for every time Grant swears in this podcast. So, what do you reckon, Grant? Should we do a swear-a-thon tonight then?
I fucking hope so, because it's going to be a fucking shit show of a season we're reviewing.
Of course, this might be we actually really enjoyed Doctor Who. But Beth, what do you think? Do you think we possibly maybe lying slightly?
Just a little, just a slight possibility.
Yeah, I think so as well. But we will come on to that now. Obviously, people are wondering, this is probably going to be a two-part episode because we're going to at least this part, we're going to talk about each episode individually and we'll be marking it out of 10. And this will be X-rated. So we need to warn that because Grant's already sworn once, and I think we're going to get plenty more bad language of Grant on this before the series finishes. Now, obviously, with this season of Doctor Who, it is the 15th season, or the second one since the reboot. Mm-hmm. Obviously, since the production changes and the acquirements of the Doctor Who's international broadcasting rights by Disney prior to the previous series. It is 6th season led by Russell T Davies. Obviously, second since he returned in 2000 and whatever freaking hell it is, right? And it's the second and final season, and Beth, you can help me out with his pronunciation here. I never pronounced it right.
Newty Gatwa.
Newty Gatwa. He's second.
Newty Gatwa.
Newty Gatwa. He's second and probably final, okay? Now, the series consists of 8 episodes. I'm not going to read all that rough stuff out for you, but the filming began in October 2023 and concluded in May 2024. I said 40 of these 8 episodes, and well, we're going to forget the Christmas one because we've already talked about that previously.
Yeah.
Now, but first of all, the first episode of this season was The Robot Revolution. Now, I'm going to start with Grant here. Let Grant start the way he means to carry on.
Why? Why?
Because I'm a twat. That's why, right? Right, Grant.
Oh, God.
Should I read up the description of it to give people a chance?
Yeah, please do, yeah.
Okay.
I might feel sick, though.
Robots abduct Belinda Chowdhury, whose ex-boyfriend Alan Budd named their system stars after her. Caught in a time fracture as he pursues them, the Doctor arrives 6 months later, finding the robots are enslaved and natives, and joins a rebel group, rescuing Belinda for the robots can enter into their cyborg queen. Grant.
Well, this episode was fucking shite. That's all I would say about it. That's all I want to say, man. Because I was like,
is this going to be every single episode? This episode was fucking shite.
Yeah. This one was particularly fucking awful, though. I really, really did not enjoy this episode. It was normally I quite like the open episodes. They're quite fun. They introduce, the companion. And they're normally quite like good tone set for the rest of the season. This is when I was worried about this season after watching this episode because I just thought it was preposterously stupid. Because I quite like the idea of having a star, naming the star in the sky after yourself, and then actually, what happens if the aliens found out and then they report you to your queen. It was I thought it was quite a fun conceit for quite a fun episode, but it was just drab and boring. And also it got into the whole reveal about the villain at the end being a tortured ex-boyfriend just kind of threw it for me, really. It was just like, yeah, the big reveal that it wasn't an evil AI, it was Al. It was spelt the metal was spotted the name. He's actually called Al, your ex-boyfriend. Al, and now he's just evil. Now he's just suddenly gone evil. So yeah, it didn't make any sense, and it just wasn't fun. Or I didn't really like the design of the robots. Thought they looked a bit generic. The only thing I liked about it was the robot that went polish. Do you remember that? I don't remember that bit. That's all I can remember.
We could do one of those.
Yeah, I know it could. I always wanted a robot Hoover. So yeah, that was about it. That's the only thing I enjoyed about it. But the whole Al reveal, I'm from, what was it? I thought you went to Margate. No, I'm from Stargate. All that line. That was just. I kind of forget how clunky and awful that was. I just was like, yeah, I was just kind of watching it, going, "What the fuck is this crap I'm watching?" you know.
All right, so Grant's used the F word, people wondering now. We're in 5 minutes in. Grant's used the F word 4 times already. Impressive,
Yeah,
Grant. Right, Amanda, before we let Beth do
Yeah.
slightly more measured
yeah,
deconstruction of this episode, is there anything you want to top up what Grant said there?
I do agree with a lot of what Grant says. I think it was a
Particularly the
good
bit is fucking
idea.
shite, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
No, I think it was a good idea about the star
yeah,
because that's usually a bit of a con when the sort of
mhm,
get someone buys
yeah.
the star and names it after you because you don't really own the stars.
No,
And I thought the idea was good. It just didn't really carry through with it very well.
yeah.
And I don't know if you can guess which bit upset me most with this episode.
Go on then, just tell us, Amanda.
They killed the cat.
Oh, yes,
Oh
they did.
yeah,
Yes,
Yeah.
they did. Meow.
oh
Oh.
yeah. That was just evil. That.
Yeah.
Yeah, it showed to me that Russell T Davies doesn't like cats.
Yeah,
That one, but oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, it was bloody horrible that scene. So, yeah,
yeah.
right. Over to Beth now because I heard a rumor about you, Beth, from Amanda the other week as well. Do you
Oh,
remember?
really?
Yeah,
Okay.
Amanda told me the
You
rumor
tell,
last.
because I don't know.
Yeah.
Amanda told me that when you were at Speakeasy the other week, you had a 20-minute rant at her about how shit you thought Doctor Who was.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you needed to get it off your chest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
just saying, I was basically just saying how, genuinely, I am trying my damnedest to find, bearing in mind, this is meant to be my favorite TV show
Mm,
in the
yeah.
world.
So yeah.
I'm doing my damnedest to find anything positive that I can
Mm.
really say about barely any of the episodes in this series. I'm racking my brain, and I genuinely like because I'm kind of am I just being too harsh? Am I being
Mhm.
am I sort of going into it being negative to start with and
Yeah.
not giving it a chart? Like I was really trying to kind of be neutral and find anything positive, and I mean I'm drawing a blank, perfectly honestly. I mean, this episode, the main criticism that I had of this episode is just, which I thought was really clunkily and
Mhm.
messily done, is, does Russell T Davies understand the difference between an incel and
Yeah.
incel culture
Yeah.
and coercive control in a relationship? Because these are two completely different things, and they are by definition kind of mutually exclusive, because the whole point of incels is that they are not in a relationship, they are
Yeah.
involuntarily celibate, and they are angry and hate women because of that.
Mhm.
Like, that's literally the whole point. That's the whole definition of an incel. So they can't be, I mean, maybe if they did get into a relationship, they would be coercively controlling if they ever did manage to get into a relationship. But the whole point is that they're not in a relationship. So are you trying to write an episode commenting on the dangers of coercive control in
Mhm.
relationships, which great, cool, interesting topic, go for it?
Yeah.
Or are you trying to make a comment about incel culture?
Yeah.
Pick one. Which one is it? Because you can't really talk about both at the same time. And it just felt like he didn't even know what he was trying to
Yeah.
say, what he was actually trying to comment on. And then there was all the sort of, like we've been saying, the sort of the robots and the idea of a star. Funnily enough, I actually have a star named after me. My friend got
Oh
me a
wow,
star certificate
Oh, really?
for my
brilliant.
birthday once. So I
Oh,
liked that idea. Like we've been saying, I think that was quite a
not
nice
an incel, are they?
idea. That like, but yeah, they just then it could have just been like a simple episode about
Yeah.
like AI and robots,
Yeah.
and the dangers of AI and robots. Or it could have been an interesting episode about incel culture,
Yeah.
or it could have been an interesting episode about coercive control in a relationship.
Mhm.
What it can't be is all three at the same time, which is
Yeah.
what Russell T Davies seemed to be trying to do. And it
Yeah.
just completely fell flat because it was like all over the place. I was just like, what,
Mhm.
what, what is this? What are you trying to say? What is
Yeah,
the
Yeah.
point here?
agreed.
It's like,
Yeah, it's. I think it's a good criticism what you said there, Beth, and I think we're all going to be commenting more as the series goes along. There was probably too many ideas,
Yeah.
and it was like then it got very, very muddy. It it felt like to me the full season. We're going to talk more when he used to do the previous run. Doctor was 13 episodes. It felt like he was trying to do 13 episodes in eight.
Mm.
Yeah.
The pacing was all over the place for this episode. And you're right. I really hated it this episode because I thought the bit when her ex-boyfriend came back into it, I thought it was rushed,
Yeah.
very disjointed. And if it was trying to be a big surprise, build some tension up, it felt fucking flat as the bear's ass to me, to be honest with you. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I really didn't like it. I really didn't like it. And the scary thing is, it's not my least favourite episode of the season either. And that's a lot of shit I thought it was. So now,
Yeah. Yeah.
has anybody else got any more criticisms they wish to do with this episode before we mark it? Oh, here we go. You go on, Beth. Right.
Yeah, I mean, the main thing, which I was just like, what are you doing? What is that? Is the Doctor watching somebody be killed in a brutal way and then just laughing about it. I mean, I know
Yeah.
he was
That was
evil.
it. Yeah. Yeah.
I know Alan was supposed to be evil, but he
Yeah.
dies like a gruesome death, being
Yeah.
regressed to like, a sperm and an egg somehow.
Yeah. Yeah.
God knows how. But he dies like what presumably is like a very gruesome and painful death.
Oh yeah.
And then the Doctor, this character that we've known for 60 years that is supposed to be the epitome of, I mean, I know he has his dark moments, but
Yeah.
this character that is meant to be like the epitome of goodness and second chances and all of that. And like, yes, he has his moments, but he does give people a chance. And there he is, like laughing over someone's death. And like, even if he thought that, Alan was a horrible person, which he was, it is completely out of character for the
Yeah.
Doctor to just stand there and go, ha 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 ha, laughing at someone's death. It was just bizarre. That is not the Doctor. That is not my Doctor. Sure, he's had his dark moments where he causes someone's death but he never laughs about it, and it's like, it just felt, it just felt really distasteful. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what to make of it, to be honest.
Yeah, no, that's a point. It is a point.
It's
And
horrible, isn't it? The whole thing was just
you know
horrible.
what it says?
From start to finish.
Bad writing. Should we just leave it at that? I mean, let's
Yeah.
try and get some positive in the second episode, which you're going to struggle on. But let's give this a mark out of 10 then. Let's try and work out who's going to give it the best mark out of 10. It's probably going to be me. 4 out of 10. Amanda.
Whoa.
3.
Beth?
Yeah, I'd say about a 4 or a 5, maybe like 4.5.
Grant.
1. I'm trying to think, is it the worst episode? I probably, I think I've got going to spoil what my rankings are, but I think that's probably one of the worst ones. So I'll give it
Now,
1.
notice a spoiler listen today. One of the worst ones, Grant.
Right. I've got one good one coming up. So
Have you really? Hang on a minute.
Yeah.
This is how many episodes, Grant? You've got one good one.
1 out of 8, and an 8.
Wow. Wow.
There's been a couple that I thought
Yeah,
were
same
decent.
for me. Yeah, I think I like probably 3.5, so that makes sense. Right, episode 2, Lux. The Doctor attempts to take Belinda home via an indirect route, causing them to land in Miami in 1952, where they investigate the disappearance of 15 people at an abandoned cinema. Instead, they encounter Mr. Ring-a-Ding, a cartoon character who has been possessed by Lux and Petra, the god of light. Amanda, I'll start off with you in this one.
This could have been really scary, but it just ended up being really stupid instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had me, and I'll come on to Beth in a second this straight away. So I know what Beth's opinions of this one are. She told me this at Speakeasy. But And my fault this was, I thought when it came up in the initial trailer, I thought it looked fantastic. You saw it coming out of the cinema
Yeah,
screen.
me too. Yeah,
Oh, this looks like it could be a decent episode. In the first
hmm
10 minutes, I thought it was really, really good.
hmm
And I did like some of the points they made about race in this one as well, 'cause I thought that was
yeah,
really well done. But the episodes, when they got to the halfway stage, went absolute fucking shite. So,
yeah.
Amanda, anything else you want to add before we move on?
I actually did like the scenes with the fans, but I don't think they really did anything with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was a lot, probably was missed opportunities to me, this one. It was. So,
hmm
Beth, I know you're going to have lots to say about this one because you told me
I
some
mean,
of this in Speakeasy.
yeah, I mean, I guess I can't really complain about this episode in the sense that I think it partly does just come down to kind of personal taste and preference as well. Because personally, I mean, I hated Lux as a villain.
hmm
Mr. Ringading as a
Yeah.
villain. The idea of the god of light and all of this mainly because I really don't personally like the direction the show has gone with kind of bringing in fantasy and
Yeah.
magic and gods and all of this. And to me, I'm a little bit like, well, I'm all for taking it in new directions, but at the end of the day, it's a sci-fi show. It's not a fantasy show. It's a
Yeah.
sci-fi show. So personally, I just don't really like this bringing in all of these gods. If you're not going to explain it as a kind of scientific thing, and you are literally just going to say that they're gods. Like I want there to be like a scientific explanation that they're actually aliens or something. So for that reason, I really didn't like the concept of the episode Mr. Ring-a-Ding as a villain. I thought it was a bit cheesy, trying to appeal to kids again.
hmm
Um, but I can't really complain in the sense that it is more just about personal preference. I think that, but I agree that also the episode just kind of fell apart a bit as it went along. It looked promising to start with, but then, you know, I think it just kind of the plot just went a little bit all over the place. I got really excited by the breaking of the fourth wall initially, because I saw a really interesting, and I think I actually sent you guys the video. I came across a really interesting like fan theory video where this Doctor Who YouTuber was speculating that actually it was going to turn out that the three fake kind of Doctor Who fans that we saw in the sort of breaking the fourth wall montage were going to turn out to be the gods of Ragnarok, who are like a classic villain from the classic series, and it was going to turn out that there were lots of things in the series that were building up to the Doctor kind of being trapped in a TV show of his own life, and all of these adventures are kind of like forced. And it was a really interesting theory. It sounds ridiculous when you say it just like that, but there was lots of the video was really interesting because there was actually a lot of evidence that this was the direction that they were maybe going to go in. And then had it ended up going in that direction, I think it could have been really interesting, and the fourth wall break in Lux could have been a really interesting scene. But because it didn't end up going anywhere, it just felt stupid by the end of
Yeah.
the series, because I was
Mhm.
like, oh God, yeah, what was that weird fourth wall break thing back in
Yeah.
Lux? It just felt really sort of
Mhm.
pointless.
Yeah.
What I didn't really get what it was trying to do if it wasn't leading up to something bigger, and it just felt a bit like, well, it also felt a bit patronizing on Russell T Davis's part, saying, oh, what's your favorite episode? Blink. Not
Yeah.
this one. No, Blink. And they're kind of almost trying to tell us that Blink shouldn't be our favorite episode or something. And I was like, well, it's a damn sight better than anything you've written this series, Russell. So
Yeah.
it's like,
Exactly.
I
Meow.
was just like, it just felt a
Remember
bit.
the cat that died in the first episode? I do a lot of that. It says meow.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, agreed with you completely with that. So, right, we better get on to the swear-a-thon now, hadn't we, Grant? Right,
I'm toning it down a little bit for this one. I didn't mind
word
I'm
is
like you.
bullshit, right?
Yeah. Uh, it was it started off quite promising. I like the kind of the 1950s style, the kind of where this was it set in Havana. I can't remember where it was now.
I can tell you, 'cause
Well,
I've got
Is it Havana?
It was set in Miami.
Miami, yeah, sorry, yeah, yeah.
Mm,
Yeah, and it looked awesome, and like, I love the costumes, and
mm.
yeah, and I like the design of the character. It was proper Looney Tunes style, 1950 style kind of animation. Yeah, I thought it was really cool, and when it came out on the screen, it was actually quite scary at first. It was like, and then but when moved into when they got trapped into the actual screen and became cartoon characters, and they were like, oh yeah, let's just think of a sad thought, always making us, more human, and it was just like, no, this is just bollocks. What you're thinking that? And then when they were kind of like they were randomly like pushing the against the film they were on, and then suddenly the fourth wall break, and then suddenly they're back, and it didn't really have like kind of, as Beth was saying, it's not really a scientific purpose behind it, and you kind of need to feel like he's used his brain somehow to figure it out, but it wasn't really. It was kind of like he just pushed at it, or he just felt human for a bit or whatever. I don't know. It just didn't make any sense. And then yeah, there was all that kind of stuff with the guy who was there for years, and then he had his lost wife on film or something. I did that was subplot was just shoehorned in. Felt that was a bit cheesy. Um, and then yeah, then this all powerful god of light is just defeated by the sunlight coming in. It's like, okay, they got the all powerful god of light, and then they're defeated in 5 minutes, pretty much. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? It doesn't. Yeah, it's just another one. I just think like these all powerful gods that just come and go. He just deals with them in like 2 minutes, and they're meant to be terrifying creatures he's never come across. Yeah, I just hate the kind of concept of it. So yeah, not a fan.
Yeah, no, I can't blame you. For me,
Yeah,
man, it shows you how much the second half of his episode went off a cliff to me. When Beth mentioned about
yeah.
the breaking the fourth wall, then
Mm,
it shows you. I remember the first 20 minutes of the episode and how they got rid of
mm.
the monster, the baddie at the end of it. I'd forgotten about those characters and the film breaking the fourth wall. So
Yeah,
because we've done it obviously it's a month too late, it's obviously, but that made no impact on me at all, that last
yeah,
bit. So it's,
yeah.
yeah. Oh, blimey.
But going
Yeah.
with Beth's theory earlier, because I was watching it with my sister, and she went, "Is that Anita Dobson?" She was like, "Who? Where the hell is she doing here?" And she turned up, and she was like,
Oh, God,
talking,
that bit
going,
was
"Oh, you're
crap.
gonna love the next episode." And we're like, she was like, "What the hell was that?" And she did turn to me, and I said, "Oh, she's just like, we think she's a villain. We don't know who she is." And then she just went, "That episode was fucking dumb." And I was like, "No, tell me about it." It was. It was like,
I
and she
actually
was like,
felt, I mean, you mentioned about Anita Dobson. Most of the times they used it in this series, and I'll ask Beth this in a second for another opinion, and Amanda as well, is
"Mhm,
I felt they were, shoehorn's a good word here. I
yeah,
don't think they needed to use her
no, not at all."
anywhere near as much as what they did. Like, it got the stage where most of the episodes in the series, you knew if you hadn't been in it all along, the IDM listed her in every episode. I thought myself, I got half an hour in, I thought, oh, she's not appeared yet. I thought, oh,
Mhm.
fuck, they're going to bring her in the last 10 seconds or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Beth, I'll ask you first while we go to Amanda. What do you think to that theory? Was it needed?
Yeah, I mean, I think we'd already had the kind of, mysterious woman turning up
Hmm.
every episode last series with
Yeah.
Susan Triad turning out
Hmm.
to be Sutek. So I feel like
Yeah.
having another, I mean, I know Mrs. Flood was introduced last series as well, but having another series where the ongoing mystery is,
Mm.
a strange woman turning up every episode and we don't know who
Yeah.
she is.
Yeah.
Having the same thing for a second series with a different woman just felt a bit like, repetitive and a bit unnecessary. I mean, I get that it was obviously leading up to, the Rani reveal and all of that, which they managed to kind of bungle again. But I don't know, like it just felt, yeah, it didn't feel particularly necessary. Again, had it been that the series was going to end up being, oh, the doctor's kind of being controlled and he's
Mhm.
trapped in a kind of TV show of his own life, and he's being put through like a series of challenges by the gods of Ragnarok, working with the Rani, blah blah blah. Had that turned out to be the big plot twist at the end of the series, which there was a lot of evidence to suggest that it was, had that turned out to be the case, then maybe Mrs. Flood would have been interesting. But and it kind of would have made more sense to have this woman popping up, being quite meta, saying, "Oh, show ends May the 24th, sort of breaking the fourth wall, it would have made a lot more sense why Mrs. Flood kept turning up and breaking the fourth wall had that been the case. But because that kind of didn't turn out to be the big reveal at the end of the series, again, it just felt a bit pointless for me.
Yeah. Amanda, to come on to you, obviously, before we wrap up our market, which is not going to be negative, it's going to be rather probably the negative side here. Is there anything you want to add about that with Anita Dobson's use in these initial
I
episodes?
think it would have been better just to use her like during the episode, like somewhere in the middle or something like that, rather than at the end, because it's more of a surprise then, because you're kind of expecting it, aren't you?
Yeah, I think you're right. It got stage, it got tedious, that bit of it for me as well. So, right, let's give us a mark and move on to an episode I actually liked after this. I'm going to start with Amanda this time.
3.5.
2.5 for me, because the last 25 minutes were pretty diabolical. Grant.
Yeah, 3 for me. It was a slight improvement on the first episode, but yeah, still a pile of wank. That's what I call it. Yeah, I think of offensive phrases for each one. So yeah.
Beth, do you think this is a load of wank? This
Yeah, sorry, Beth. I know.
Yeah, unfortunately.
What are you going to give this out of 10, Beth?
Yeah, I think I'd give it. I don't know which one was worse really out of this or the Robot Revolution. So I'll give it the same mark. I'll give it a 4 again because they're about the same for me.
No, fair point. Okay, on to episode 3, The Well. The Doctor and Belinda arrive on a planet 55, that is 50 section, 500,000 years in the future, where an expedition is investigating a mining colony which has gone silent. And I'm supposed to my brain's thinking, I read this as a deaf cock then. It's not. A deaf cook, alas. It's the only person left alive.
That's a different kind of episode.
Slightly. After a mysterious entity emerged from the mining well and killed the crew. Now, I'm going to start off with this one, actually, John and Shell, and I'll come on to Grant in a minute with this. I actually really like this episode, actually, John and Shell. I don't think it was Amanda's favourite. It was probably my favourite of the series, actually, John. It was a bit more like Stephen Moffat-ish in places, actually. It had that sort of very mood about it. And it shows you, Rusty Davies didn't write all of his episode, and if you believe the talk, he only did the outline for it. Shamel Angel Wolfel, I believe, wrote most of his episode. And the tone of it was a bit like that episode the season before, but it jumped on the third episode about that mine which Stephen Moffat wrote. It had 2 uneven episodes, you could argue, to start with last season. But this was just a real jump in the darkness base. It was a really dark episode. I wasn't particularly wild on the bit about midnight, if I'm honest with you. I thought that was a bit slightly jarring, but I preferred it more. So, Grant.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one. I actually enjoyed this one. It was, as I said, I enjoyed it as it was not painful to watch like the other episodes. Pretty much all the other episodes, like I was actually like quite entertained. It was quite suspenseful, you know what I mean? It's like and it was, I quite liked the midnight reveal, but because that's one of the all-time best episodes Russell T Evans ever done. I love that episode.
Probably
cool.
the darkest if you think about it. Really, it
yeah,
probably was.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
hard
so it was
to
cool to
rewatch
come
that.
back, and it was done in a slightly different way as well, because it was just like not look behind your back, and it had the deaf character as well, which was cool. And yeah, I thought and it showed quite a nice side of Belinda actually, because it showed her caring for for Belinda, and like she didn't want anyone to who she was willing to sacrifice herself for the I think the monster that was kind of attacking people and stuff like that. They wouldn't let anyone go without being left behind and stuff like that. So yeah, I thought it was entertaining. Yeah, it wasn't I wouldn't say it was as good as the original Midnight, but it was still a solid episode. But I still like the mystery behind the monster. I think it was good they didn't reveal more about it, and it was kind of one of those threats that was a bit. He didn't really. It wasn't. They didn't really get rid of it at the end either, did they? So it was kind of like it was a bit more scarier that way. That they didn't really show. It was a lot of. It was good because it was. They didn't fully show what the monster is still, which is good. So I think that it's always going to be scary in the imagination, isn't it? So yeah, I enjoyed that aspect of it. Yeah, but so yeah, I thought it was a good one. I was surprised. I was shocked after 2. absolutely horrible episodes. I was like, well, maybe it'll turn around, but then we'll go on to that later. but yeah, so yeah, it was
all
a good
should be
episode.
revealed.
Yeah,
Amanda.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it was definitely better than the first two, but the bar was pretty low on it, really.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
was
I
as
Yeah.
low
found
as
it
that well,
scary.
wasn't it? To be
Yeah,
honest
but
with
I
you.
think it could
Yeah.
have been scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did surprise me a bit that juncture, like I said, that's for sure. I wasn't expecting it to change like it did of that. So, was there any bits in it that really stood out to you, man, in this third episode?
I like the fact that they had a deaf character in it, and it was almost like that was a superpower.
Yeah, no, agreed.
Yeah,
I
it was
think
cool.
he's very well, I don't know if say good or bad. Sometimes he's very good at hamming the sort of thing into people's heads, he is. But I think this has been, compared to what comes up later in the series, some of the over the top of it, I thought this was fairly subtly done for him, to be honest with you, using the deaf characters. So, yeah, agreed. Is there anything else you want to add, Amanda, before we let Beth loose at it?
No,
Beth, go for it.
Yeah, no, I mean, my initial reaction to this episode, which I think I actually put in our group chat, was just bloody hell, an actually good episode of Doctor Who.
Yeah,
I would have thought
yeah,
it was
yeah,
possible anymore.
yeah.
I actually loved this episode. I mean, as Amanda says, the bar was probably quite low,
Mm.
given what we'd been served so far. But yeah, I mean, this is the thing. This is what frustrates me. It's not complicated, guys. It's not hard.
Yeah. Mm.
Just give us a normal, decent episode of Doctor Who, and that's what this was. I
Yeah.
mean, I just thought, yeah, it was just back to basics, creepy
Mhm.
planet, team that are slowly being picked off one by one,
Yeah. Yeah.
only survivor left, strange entity, just back to basics, and it was really good. I thought I really liked the midnight reveal. Because I don't think I actually knew that it was like meant to be like a sequel to Midnight.
Mhm.
So when they did that reveal, it was actually news to me, and it was a really good reveal because it was like, oh, it's about to go down when he said when he said it was midnight. So yeah, I really liked it. I thought the representation was really good. Having a deaf character as well, I thought that was really sweet, really nice. I saw a really lovely video actually where it was like Shooty Gatwa talking about learning to sign, and
Oh,
they
cool.
spoke to is it Rose Ayling Ellis, the
Yeah, that's fair.
deaf
Yeah.
actress? Yeah, they spoke to her, and she said, this will be like a really iconic moment for deaf Doctor Who fans, or hard of hearing Doctor Who fans, because he actually signs "Name Me the Doctor," which is like a really historic moment for Doctor Who fans in the deaf community to have the Doctor sign "Name Me the Doctor." So I thought that was really nice. Yeah, I just thought it was a decent episode all round. I mean, it maybe didn't need to be the Midnight Entity. They could have just made it a new entity, because it kind of maybe took away from the mystery a little bit, but they still didn't really reveal what it was, or what was going to happen
Yeah.
next. So I just thought it was good.
Yeah, agreed to me. Like I said, people wondering, we can be positive in this series sometimes. I can't guarantee how many more episodes we'll be positive for, but yes, I agreed completely. So, right, we'll give us some markings. Beth, I'll let you go first this time.
I'd give it like a
Hmm.
7.5. I don't think it's the best episode of
Yeah.
Doctor Who I've ever seen, but it's back on standard. So
Mhm.
Yeah. Grant.
Yeah, I'm the same. It's like it wasn't shite, so it's a 7.5 for me as well. But I tell you, there was I forgot to mention one bit that made me laugh. I think like when the doctor went to call one of the soldiers sweetheart, and he was like, "Don't call me sweetheart," and she just went, "Sorry, babes." That's quite
Oh,
funny. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
That's
that
quite
was
like that.
really
Was like
good.
cheeky side of it, but it was really funny that.
yeah. Well,
Because it's
that
quite a
was
serious episode, and he was like, "Yeah," but so yeah, it was 7.5, not shite. So yeah, it regained my trust briefly. So.
Amanda.
6 out of 10.
Yeah, I know this wasn't Amanda's favourite, was it? So,
Oh,
yeah, I know. Why weren't you very keen on this one, Amanda, but liked it more than the first two?
I've just seen a lot of terrifying stuff, and I think I'm desensitized.
Yeah.
That's fair enough. That's fair play to you. I did like it. I liked it a lot, this one, actually, honestly. But I did thought it did feel a bit like Stephen Moffat episode to me when he was doing his more darker ones. And it was just, it really jarred compared to the first two episodes, honestly, but I did really enjoy it. 8. Now, episode number 4. Think, I think this is Amanda's favourite one, actually, if my memory's correct. Lucky Day. On New Year's Day 2007, 8-year-old Conrad Clark encounters a doctor setting up a homing device to vindicate alongside Belinda, leading to his obsession with aliens. In 2024, Conrad again sees a TARDIS and is saved by the Doctor and Ruby Sunday from a creature called a Shriek. A year later, Conrad seeks out Ruby, still adjusting to normal life, and invites her to talk on his podcast about her experiences with the Doctor. The two begin dating. Amanda.
Yeah, I was looking forward to this because I wanted to see Ruby back. And naively, I was watching it thinking, oh, it's so sweet. And I thought,
I
you
know.
know, we're going to have a happy ever after. And then it didn't really end like that. And then I was just like, oh, go on, let the monster eat him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's that sort of episode where it felt like a bit of an episode like Friends or something to me, this one. Just
It was,
because
yeah.
the tone was just completely different with it. But is that what you liked about it, Amanda? Because it felt like it was somewhat completely different to what you hadn't seen in this series.
Yeah, I stupidly thought they were going to give her like a nice little ending and she was going to go off and be happy and stuff, but I forgot what I was watching.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I agree with you on that one. So I'm going to say Grant next because I think Grant probably liked this episode secretly.
I don't know. It's a weird one. When I was looking back on the episodes, I was thinking, uh, I'm just kind of drawn a bit of a blank on it. It was a bit shit. We're going to be honest with you. It was like, I felt like the beginning was, I think like the actual twist at the beginning was pretty good. You know, the way they kind of, he was actually quite evil. But then I think it kind of lost me a bit after that. I feel like it went too far into him being just like a bit of a neo-Nazi, pretty much, you know, just hating everyone. And I didn't really get the fact that he would be able to break into unit and then, you know, have all this kind of following and all that. It just seemed a bit over the top, and I feel a bit at the end as well with like the doctor lecturing him. He's just a pathetic dweeb, to be honest with you. Like I didn't really like feel like he was worth like kind of like built up as kind of evil arch villain, to be honest with you. So I mean, I did like it when he was like having a go at the people at unit saying they're fake and like and then and saying that you know the one on the wheelchair is on benefits and all that because he was just like he was so horrible, wasn't he? But it was yeah, I kind of I didn't really buy into him being this kind of evil mastermind really, but yeah, it was quite an average episode for me, to be honest with you.
Definitely. Now, I wonder what Beth's going to say now. Ooh, this could
Yeah.
go either way, this.
No, I mean, I'm kind of with Grant.
Yeah.
It's not my least favorite episode.
Yeah.
It was at least coherent.
Yeah.
It at least
Hmm.
made sense narratively.
Yeah.
But yeah, it wasn't great. I mean, I thought the plot twist with Conrad, I didn't like because Russell T Davies has literally done that exact plot twist before, in The Runaway Bride with Donna, with
Oh, he
Love.
did. He did, yeah.
Yeah.
And how many men are there out there that are apparently like just, I mean, I don't know, maybe there are tons of men out there that are willing to enter into a relationship with somebody
Mhm.
in order to like be in league with aliens or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it just felt like it just kind of
Mhm.
felt like Russell T Davies was reusing that exact same
Mhm.
plot point of, Donna's first husband, like fiance. And so when the plot twist happened, I was like, what again? That's
Yeah.
already happened, like not that. I mean, I guess it has been a while, but yeah, so I wasn't overly wowed by the plot twist, and I felt like it was a bit I just kind of felt it was a bit lectury, like
Yeah.
Todd
I agree.
said, like the whole speech from the doctor at the end of like, oh, you're just, people just want to live their lives. It was a bit too kind of like in your face
Yeah.
kind of messaging of like, you're just a bigger blah blah blah, and it kind of, I mean, I know Conrad was obviously like, he was evil, he was a horrible guy, but I just felt like he was a bit of a caricature, and it
Yeah.
all just felt a little bit forced. Didn't really get why he'd latched on to Unit as being this kind of evil,
Yeah.
power. I don't quite know why. Like, it just didn't really make sense to me necessarily why he would be so obsessed with trying to claim that Unit were lying, or aliens didn't exist, or it just felt a bit kind of like going from someone who is just kind of a bit misogynistic,
Yeah.
sort of, and bigoted. Why would that necessarily mean that they like were against Unit and aliens? I don't know. It didn't all fully connect up for me, and it was just a bit like, I'd rather Ruby just have had a nice boyfriend, to be honest. It felt a bit like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit
Yeah.
underwhelming.
No, it's a fair point, John Chisel. I said, like, it shows you already halfway through. It's been a mixed bag this series, so that's for sure. But, right, let's give this a mark and move on. Amanda,
Shit in this.
since
I
I
call
know
it.
Amanda's going to be give us a more positive mark, and I think probably Grant and Beth will.
I'll give it an 8.
Yeah, I actually quite liked it. I felt it was heavy-handed at the end with the win. Obviously, the shooter came in at the end of that last 5 minutes. You probably would have lost basically. And I didn't like the Niece Dobson cameo. I thought it was really bad actually, really bad at the end of that. But 7.5 for me. So, Beth
I'd give it maybe a 6.
and Grant knocking the mark down more possibly.
Yeah, I'll give it five and a half. I think 'cause
Yeah.
it was watchable, but it was rubbish. So that's what I can say.
I
But it
love the
was like,
fact here. You know, there's a synchronicity here. Amanda gives it a high mark. Mine was a little lower. Beth's was a bit lower, and Grant's was substantially lower. Right, let's move on to
gonna
the
get more
episode.
low ones to come.
Oh,
Can't
fuck
wait.
me. Oh, fuck me. Yes, we will be. Right. Okay. On to episode number 5. Uh, uh, I don't even remember this episode, actually. It shows you this next one. What impact this next one made
It's a
on me.
stinker. It's very bad.
Story in the engine.
Yeah.
Was this one in Nigeria, this one? Was it? It was,
Yeah,
wasn't
it
it?
was,
Yeah.
Lagos,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, blimey, yeah. Yeah, that's it, yeah. The Doctor and Belinda land in 2019 Lagos to boost the Vindicator's signal. When the Doctor stops by his friend Omar, the barber shop owner, for a haircut, 2 people named the Barber and Abana trap the Doctor inside and ask him for stories. I don't remember this episode. Grant, can you refresh my memory then? I don't
Well, so
remember it.
basically, they land in Lagos, Nigeria,
Oh,
because the Doctor wants a haircut. So he goes to his favorite barbers. So it's quite a good premise because basically there's people there who've been there forever, seems like forever, and their hair keeps growing back after every haircut. They have to give a story. It's played out on the walls, and basically this is feeding some alien that's a giant spider on top of it. We don't really understand why it's in this kind of like other dimension somewhere. So once you come into the hairdressers, you can't leave, pretty much. So the Doctor turns up, has his haircut. He tells a story about Belinda, and then it's a fucking mess from then on, really. I just don't know what to describe it, really. Yeah. At first, I thought it might be fun, like, an episode of Desmond's or something. Because I thought it was a really good premise, like, in the hairdressers, it reveals a lot about, humour injection, especially with, men's hairdressers, they're kind of showing a vulnerability you don't really get in, in normal society, really. So it was like, looking trying to look your best and everything. But then, yeah, it just turned into absolute bollocks from then on, really. It was just literally a very convoluted plot about one of them was a goddess or something. I can't remember what god she was. And yeah, she'd been feeding this machine the stories, and then the Doctor was like, "Oh, I've known you," and then he turned into the fugitive Doctor, from Jodie Whittaker's era briefly. They had some kind of relationship. I don't know what the hell that was about, but they had. I still don't really know much about her, to be honest with you. So yeah, that kind of came out, and then yeah, after all that stuff, they just blew the machine up and ran away at the end. That was it. Yeah, so that was the episode. But it was just kind of like, yeah, it could have been a really cool concept, I thought. But yeah, it was just a convoluted mess at the end. It's sort of about gods and spy. They know where this spider came from, but yeah, it was just in a space, but he was also above Nigeria for some reason. I don't know. It's just I don't even know what to say anymore. It's just I don't know who commissioned this story, but go on. But of all the stories they could have told, but yeah, so yeah, a crap one.
Amanda, I know what Beth's going to say about this already. I think it's another one Beth had a good rant on it. Speaking easy, actually. So I'll ask you before, Amanda. Can you remember much about this episode? Because I don't remember it at
No,
all.
I think I went into a waking coma. Was this
Yeah,
the one where Belinda ended up seeing one of the space babies?
yeah,
Oh,
she does.
yes,
That was
she
the
did.
best bit.
Yeah, that's
No,
the only bit I remember.
was this the bit
Springfield.
when Richard E. Grant was brought into the doctors? They
No,
shut-the-lined
no,
all the doctors, didn't they? Was that in the
no. That
night?
was no. I don't think so. No, I think that was in last series.
Oh, hang on.
Yeah.
Either way, anyway. So, is there anything else you want to say about this episode, Amanda? Apart from me, like me, we both fell asleep during it.
Just agree with Grant about the space babies, ghost
Yeah,
space babies.
yeah. I know. We'll talk about that more. See.
Completely right. Beth, go for it. 'Cause I know you felt this was about three stories in one, didn't you? I remember you telling me this is
Yeah,
speak
Yeah.
easy.
No, I mean, I'm gonna start with what I liked about it because there were things that I liked about this episode. So I really liked that it was set in Nigeria. I wish Doctor Who would do more of this, like going to different countries. Because for a show that, for a show that can go anywhere in time and space, they do seem to spend an awful lot of time in present day London. So, I think it's really nice when they do, another location. I wish they would do more of that in the show. I wish they would go to, if you're going to stay mostly in the modern day, then at least go to, if you're going to stay mostly on Earth in the modern day, then at least go to sort of different countries and, sort of show us like different cultures and stuff. So I really liked that. I thought it was really nice. I really liked the market and all of the colours and everything. I really liked seeing Ncuti Gatwa interacting with all these people that he'd kind of befriended. I thought that was really nice. And it was a good setup for an episode, and then it just, as has become habit with these things, like it just seemed to kind of fall apart. I didn't get what was going on with the spider. I didn't get what was going on with the god and somehow it's being fueled by stories. I don't really know. Kind of makes sense, kind of doesn't. Didn't really fully get how that all linked up. Yeah, the random cameo from the fugitive doctor that no one cares about from Jodie
Yeah,
Whittaker's era, that literally we still don't even know who the fugitive doctor is.
yeah.
Where she falls in the timeline, no one cares. Stop. Like literally, no one gives a shit
No.
about the fugitive doctor.
Yeah,
Like, let me just put that out there. We don't know who she is, and why you'd have a cameo, I don't know.
No.
It just didn't. I don't know. Just didn't make any sense. The space babies popping up, didn't know what that was about. And when we did get an explanation later in the series, it was the worst explanation ever. Like it was just.
Yeah, people are wondering on episode 8. This might be an episode in itself. This one for a rant. Yeah,
I think I might
agree.
get a minus score. That's what I'm going to tell you.
I mean,
Yeah.
Possible.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just didn't. Yeah, I mean, it could have been a really nice idea. It could have been a really good idea for an episode, but as usual, they seem to have some interesting ideas, but they just don't seem to be able to execute them. And what really confused me about this episode is that it actually seemed to get some really good reviews. Everyone
Yeah, it
seemed to
did.
be raving about it after it came out, and I was like, have we watched the same episode? Like, what is going on? Like, loads of people seem to really like this episode, and I was like, well, I mean, it wasn't the worst, but like, really, like it was, it was just kind of, I don't know.
I thought it was awful, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
It's a
agree
waste. It
there.
was disappointing. It was just a waste of quite a good concept, the
Yeah.
idea
Yeah.
of stories feeding an alien, ship, and it could have been really well done. So what the actual head barber wasn't that scary, or kind of like they didn't
Yeah.
feel any real threat really. It just and
Yeah,
then
it
when the
was,
feed was done, I feel like that came up and they were just padding the episode. To be honest,
yeah.
it was just slow as well. So boring.
I
Yeah,
think that's probably why
and,
Amanda, that's probably why we fell asleep during that episode, didn't we?
yeah.
Because it's so
Yeah.
boring. Yeah,
And
agreed.
also, I don't like it in the hairdresser when they talk to me. I just want to sit there in silence. To be honest with you. Like I hate when they ask me how I am and all that. I just want
Grant,
to get my hair. But
you're a miserable twat. That's the reason we know that.
I
Oh, it's
mean,
when
what is nice about it is that apparently and I didn't know this, but apparently black barbers are renowned for like storytelling and stuff like that.
yeah,
So that's quite nice. That's quite a nice kind of, you know, bit of idea for a story and bit of representation there, but it's a shame that they didn't really do it justice.
no.
no, agreed. No, good point. Good point. So, should we move on to what's going to be? I'm looking forward to see what we'll talk about with the next episode. This one's probably proved a bit divisive, the
We're
next
going
one,
to
but
score this one.
let's score this one first, however.
Yeah.
I'm going to go first to this 1 out of 10. Amanda.
I'm going to join you with one, and that's just for the space baby.
Yeah.
Grant.
2.
And Beth, or can you go higher, Beth?
Both for Space Baby.
Ooh, I'll give it a 2.5, maybe.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Oh, he's not even got a collective 10, has it, between us?
No.
If people are wondering, that adds up to be 4.5 out of 10 between the four of us. Oh, no, there's 2.5, no, 6.5 out of 10. I can't add up here. Oh dear. Oh, anyway, let's move on. We can't really get recommendation between that set of 7 between the four of us. God. Right.
And
Now let's go on for something completely different. And this one got the highest ratings of the season, I believe, apart from the last episode, actually. The Interstellar Song Contest. Now, I think this is Grant's favourite episode, this, and I know why in a minute.
it is
Don't we,
actually.
Grant? Oh, I knew it would
Yeah.
be Grant here.
Yeah.
In 2,925, the Doctor and Belinda are attending the Interstellar Song Contest, evolved from Earth's Eurovision Song Contest, when 2 terrorists from the planet Helia remove the station's oxygen shield, propelling the Doctor and 100,000 people in the audience into deep space, where they begin to freeze. However, before he can die, the Doctor is woken by a psychic message from his granddaughter, Susan Foreman.
Oh yeah.
Beth, we'll start on you this time.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna address the elephant in the room because I think it needs to be like brought up and dealt with. I personally didn't really properly mull this over and have any particularly strong opinions on it until I started, watching reaction videos and seeing some of the commentary afterwards. But the Doctor essentially torturing a freedom fighter was not a good look, shall we
Point.
say.
Yeah, point.
And I feel like this needs to be addressed because it's caused it caused a lot of controversy. Whatever your political opinions are, my personal view on it was just like, this doesn't seem very in character for the Doctor at all. Granted, this is a guy that, wanted to murder 3 billion people, or 3 trillion or whatever it was, just because a genocide had occurred on his planet and he wanted to murder all of these innocent people that didn't really have anything to do with it, just to kind of get back at the people who did have something to do with it. And obviously, clearly murdering 3 trillion people, whatever's happened, is not good. But then also this guy has literally had his entire planet massacred by an evil corporation. So the Doctor torturing him for apparently no reason before he even knows this is just like the Doctor doesn't even bother to take a step back and question why is he trying to or actually no, I think he does. I think he does know that about the genocide at this point and why Kid is trying to kill all of these people to get back at. Like, I think he does know at this point, and his response is to basically start giving this freedom fighter like electric shocks, which is, I mean, it just felt a bit like, you know, what is going on? What is that doesn't seem like something the Doctor would do, and it's a bit questionable whatever character's doing it. I mean, like this is a kids show, you know, like it was just kind of, well, not a kids show, but you know, this is a family show, and it just felt like the whole thing with the genocide and, you know, the corporation being responsible, it was handled very badly. It was all a bit of a mess. It wasn't handled sensitively at all. You know, regardless of whether you think, you know, Kid is right or whether you think there's another, you know, given also the political situation going on all around us in the real world at the moment, with everything that's happening with, you know, I mean, a lot of people were drawing comparisons between, you know, the Gaza, Israel, and, you know, with everything going on in the real world at the moment, it wasn't a good look, and it didn't sit well, and it wasn't, you know, very well timed in that regard, and it wasn't handled very sensitively in that regard. You know, what I think they could have handled that storyline a lot better, and it just felt a bit. So that was my kind of main criticism of the episode. Rest of the episode, I didn't really have an issue with. It was kind of just all right. Like, I don't know. But yeah, I just felt like that kind of needed to be said and put out there, because that was kind of the main issue that I saw.
Come on, Beth. He was trying to kill Ryland. He had to defend himself.
I've got to say, I really dislike Ryland, but he was bloody good in this episode.
Yeah, I thought he was great. When I saw that trailers for it, I was like, oh, not fucking Ryland again. I done everything, and then I was like, no, he was really good actually. He was used sparingly, but I thought it was quite funny and coming out of, like, you know, cryogenic freeze. You know, it kind of gave the camp. It was kind of the camp funny vibe that would work well for the Eurovision, like a Eurovision special. So yeah, I thought it was quite funny. Yeah, so.
I was a bit less even about Graham Norton, if I'm honest. I dislike Graham Norton even more, to be honest with you.
I love Graham.
I liked seeing Graham Norton pop up. I thought it was funny.
I like the fact that they met, was it in Brighton Pride or something, isn't it?
No, that's fair enough, to be honest with you. But I said, yeah, I said me. I know which bit Grant's favourite bit of the episode was, and what was that, Grant? I'll let you tell people, right?
Dagadoo, 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 dagadoo,
Yeah.
dagadoo, dagadoo,
Yeah. 24-hour music.
Oh no, yeah, there's a massive loop of that. But like, what got me was, and you've all seen the quote by Russell T Davies on this. They weren't going to have any songs in it, were they?
I know.
But Murray Gold actually produced this one, and Russell Davies said, "I've got to put it on." I absolutely loved it. It was just absolutely. I think 12 hours of it, Grant, which you found in YouTube, was possibly pushing it a bit somewhere.
No, it's perfect. Wonderful. I know, but they weren't going to put it on the show. That's a fucking joke. If that hadn't been in it, it would have got two out of 10. But now it's going to go. It's going to get 10 out of 10 for that episode. That song.
Amanda, is there anything else you want to add about it?
Yeah, I think Duckadoo saved the episode for me, because I didn't like a lot of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a bit. It did get a bit heavy-handed in places, don't you? So, but like, yeah, I do agree with you. Anything else you want to add, Amanda?
I'm not going to start singing.
No, please don't start singing, Amanda. Please don't stop singing. Right, so, right, Grant, are you going to be able to sing it to us, Grant?
Again.
Yeah, 12 hours.
Yeah, I can do it. Yeah, off my heart. Dagadoo, 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 dagadoo,
Now, if
I
people
can
are
do all
wondering,
the voices. Yeah.
if people are wondering, Grant is currently working on his second album, aren't you? You're
Yeah.
just going to be the bonus track in it, Grant.
Yeah, I'll do a bonus track for you.
You could call it For the Love of Dugadoo.
Yeah, yeah.
What is it going to be? Is it going to be I Need a Dugadoo, is it?
Yeah, it will be. Yeah.
Right, Grant, is there anything else you want to add about this? Seriously.
No, I liked it. I had low expectations, so it kind of like, yeah, it was kind of like a surprise. I was like, actually, that was fun, So yeah, actually, I quite liked it. So yeah.
Yeah, I think they marketed it really cleverly, on you. But I want to ask a question is later because obviously Shooty obviously left at the end of the series. But
Yeah.
I don't ask it now. Fuck, no, we won't because we're just about to 10 hour, guys. So we're going to take a quick break here. If I just still in the time. Right, we'll take a quick break, everybody. Like 2 shakes of the dice, and then we'll mark it. See you in a second.
Not the TV guide.
Not the TV guide.
Not the TV guide.